Good afternoon. My name is Scott Redler, Chief Strategic Officer at T3Live.com. Welcome to today's recap and look ahead. So, another interesting day. Every day is an interesting day. It's not supposed to be so interesting. We're supposed to be trending, having fun, high-fiving, and instead we're having to surgically maneuver and figure out whether to make money long or short every single hour as the market changes. So this morning we opened up again. Tuesday we gapped up. At least Monday, Tuesday was calculated. Like Monday reversal, Tuesday gap up, make good money, sell into strength. Who cares if we fail? Today, we gapped up again. This time, we kind of figured that we wouldn't just sell off in the first hour because it would be too easy. But they sold the market a little bit the first half hour, which was buyable. Then we made new highs into midday, and then all of a sudden 1 o'clock rolled over, closing near the lows of the day. So if you did not take your trades, or you got too overconfident, all of a sudden you gave back whatever you made long. And if you shorted in the morning, you probably got squeezed out, and then in the afternoon you're like, I wish I stayed with it. But it was hard to, considering we're still in the bottom end of the range, so they could definitely have pushed the envelope even further. So the long and the short of it is, get it, the long and the short of it? You have to know your pivots, you have to know your resistance areas, you have to really just take your trades. If you look here at the S&P cash, you will see, I talk about like resistance pivots. When I talk about a resistance pivot, basically I'm saying like there's like a pocket pivot area where if it gets above, which it tried to get above 26.74, then it opens the door for what could have been here or here, but really only went to 26.85. So it wasn't like a whole big crazy trade. Went 11 handles above yesterday's high, pushed, and then came back below. Remember I talked about get above and stay above? Well, this did not. So if you did buy it here for a push and you sold some and you held some, that's your stop. If you said, hey, I covered my short into this bottom tail, now we all of a sudden pushed above and closed below, I'm going to get short here, I'm going to get out here, that's your signal. Every sector looks the exact same way. The Qs pushed above, closed below. Here was a red dog reversal this way, then all of a sudden held a little higher yesterday, then pushed above and couldn't hold above. So either that's a sell signal if you got long here, or if you traded it here, or at least get flat. I'm flat, I'm not short overnight, but to me, this is not giving me any kind of signal to be long. It's still in the bottom end of the range, it's still not strong, things are still vulnerable. So for me, I'm just like, okay, it's not showing me something to put money at risk. I've been long the last 2 nights into nice gap ups tonight. I'm flat, I kind of think we opened down, but we'll see. What the IWMs do, look at that. Also, red dog reversal topping tail. What's that? Pushes above a high of 146.19. Pushed to 146.74 and couldn't hold it. That is your out. That might even have been your short. If you said, hey, I'm going to get covered here because we went all the way from here down to here, couldn't stay below, I'm going to cover up. Now, if you're looking to get short, that's your short signal. For me, it's just my not be involved signal. As far as stocks, some stocks still look fine. For me, I had 5 longs coming in. Twitter was an awesome trade this week. I just sold it for a point, not a point, more than a point, but in general, just saying, hey, I don't want to be long, even though, it still looks fine. Actually, more than fine. But anyway, we got long in here, stayed with it all week, sold it. That was a nice trade for us. 3 days up gets me flattish. If we close strong in the market, or I looked like we would look constructive in the market, I'd probably stay in it. But for now, I'm not. Maybe just kissed the gap and now wants to come in, so I'm out of that. I was in Apple, been in Apple since, since such a long time ago, since this day. Held through yesterday, then today. It was probably one of the only stocks that really could not get above the prior day's high. I was at the gym, I'm like, oh, look at that. It's above 170, 179. Put some orders out at 172.5, 173, 174. Then by the time I turned around, it was already back below it. And if I was here, I would have sold it. I wasn't, so I just sold the end of the day. Not very convincing. Look at this little move here after a huge move down from this big gap down after earnings that has been rejected this entire way up, besides this little overthrow move. Maybe tomorrow we open up and when we go like that and we hang in here, create a pocket pivot. But for me, this was the weakest one, so it's kind of hard to, be sitting in that one. Some of the other names did better. Like I gave you guys charts on Google and Amazon and and Netflix and some of the ones saying, hey, if we get above and stay above this, there's room till here. Most of them did much better than Apple did. I just didn't trade them well. Amazon pushed above this spot, went to the resistance area, the moving averages got rejected. So from this red dog reversal Monday, that should have been your out. Some guys might have even got short. This is not an active day trading signal to be long. Even if it goes up tomorrow, I don't care. This, is a topping tail into the moving averages. That's your get out. Google also pushed above 1070, put a topping tail right into the moving averages. That's why we try and plan it out. This went right into 1090, where I drew that line this morning, right? Where did it go? Oh, look at that, 1091 pushed through a little bit, closed below. So from this red dog reversal here into there, that's a sell signal. Just at least tactically, whether you have more conviction or not, who knows? But I'm just saying this topping tail tells me not to be long overnight actively. If anything, some guys might be short. Facebook, stronger than most things. Got to remember this Monday. I said I can get to 137, which was right here. Okay, got to 147, got to 147.19, and then came off a little bit, off a lot from 144.5. That's a so you could target shorts into these areas as well as target your sells. And now you'll see, does Facebook hold this little ascending channel or not? All in all, though, it's acting better than most names. But for today, more of a sell than a buy. We'll see. I was in this NBEV, sold it even though it kind of closed strong. But 4 days up, I'm like, you know what? It's a spec name. Bought it on this day and just sold it here, considering that the other wellness names reacted pretty poorly to the news. Failed at the 200-day, closed on lows. That tells me not to be long. TLRY didn't even rally yesterday. Now closed below this range. I'm sure more people are short than long. So just play it at your own risk. Didn't do anything into everyone talking about the farm bill and then closed on lows. The banks, they hit them early and then they kind of had a push, but still a whole heck of a lot of nothing. The longer this stays below this 103, area, the higher the probability after, holding here after, remember this move when it broke this inside wedge here? Well, now it's not really doing a whole heck of a lot. It's in this kind of void where it's weak. Definitely could see lower prices if it wants to. Oops, sorry. Could see here pretty easily. I tried Bank of America today, but closed also very weak. So what am I going to sit in Bank of America for when it's not giving me any signal? Granted, I'm not shorted, and I don't think you should be shorted, but it's not really telling you to be long it yet. This is when it kind of broke right here. Now it's hovering into this lower area. And I'm sorry, the mouse is a little sticky. Could go lower. It's oversold, but it doesn't mean you could buy it. Fed's not till next week, so there's time. Oil also reversed a bit. Can't say it's too bullish. Here's your big trend that failed. Here is your breakout failure right there. Here's your break all the way down, tried to bounce, and now it seems as if you have a bit of a bear flag down here that could go to the downside. That would not be bullish. That would be more bearish. So in conclusion, because I have to do a webinar for the next hour, today gave you a push. It was a little bit different than yesterday. They failed early and then stopped a lot of people out before bouncing. Today, they baited in some shorts. They squeezed them. You could have made some money if you weren't long overnight. We were long overnight, so we had a nice head start. But then once everyone felt a little comfortable, then boom, they took the rug out a little bit and closed well off the highs, giving us some topping tails where yesterday's highs didn't hold, which gives you that small red dog reversal sell to get out of your longs if you were still in them from Monday. And some of you who covered on Monday as we reclaimed 2,600, maybe you shorted into strength using that. It all depends on what plays to your strengths. There's been money to make on the long side in the hole, and there's been money to make on the short side into areas. Or you're doing both, and then you're really awesome. But it's a lot of brain power to do both. Or you're just sitting out and saying, hey, I don't even know what the hell is really going on here except for in a weak tape, and it's been hard to be short, it's hard to be long. I'm just going to wait till things give me better signals. So pick any of those. For me, I picked the long side into support, calculated now. I don't see much edge here. That's why I'm flat overnight. I got to jump. I'll see you tomorrow morning at the morning call. Have a good night.